Hi, everyone. To those who don't know me, this is Christy from Optimal Wellness Yoga. To those of you that have been here before, with great gratitude, I welcome you back. I'm here today to share with you my color story or my currently inked for the month of November. So last week, if you saw my currently inked review, for October, I had inked up 10 pens and that was too much. So I'm paring it back. I had liked having 6 pens, but I have added a new type of pen and ink I like to work with. So I'm going to go with 7 colors. And lucky me, there's 7 days in the week. So I can go ahead and share my color story here in my Hobonichi Weeks. And yes, I've been cleaning out pens the last 2 days. So I have very inky fingers. Apologies for that. Let's get started, but why don't I show you a little snippet of the imagery from the Sterling Ink sticker kit for November. These are the colors. I'm kind of loving them. I mean, part of me still wanted to stick in the very autumnal oranges and browns and stuff, but these are actually like kind of my colors, like my year-round colors, sort of. So this is equally fun. So what I've done here is I'm going to try using a paintbrush today. I'm going to do a short-ish, like I'm not going to take up quite the whole space. I'm going to try a long, but not super high swatch across the days here, and then write in with the inked pen which pen I'm using. And then I'm going to do a tiny bit of decoration with some of the Sterling Ink stickers just to kind of just create a story of where I'm going this month, yet leaving me room to do a little bit of recording my thoughts. Or perhaps I may end up just collaging this whole page over the course of the month. I'm undecided. I am somewhat inspired by a Yoseka video that I watched, I think possibly in September. I'm going to try and remember to link it down in the description box. So I have 6 of my 7 inks. The 7th ink, I did a dilution, and there's just a drop's worth left in the vial that I did that mixing in. So I'll use that. But I put the drops of ink in this palette so that I don't contaminate the whole bottles of ink, because I will need to dip and dry this brush in between. And I'm just doing a slight dry on a bit of paper towel, partially to control how much ink I pull up. So the first ink I'm working with is one of our new ones that we added to the collection. This is Dominant Industry. And this is the French one that I can't pronounce. The Soleil Couchant à Etretat. It's one of their recently released colors, at least when Amelia placed the order at Cult Pens. It's a nice, like, dark teal, almost like teal black, sort of. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do all the swatching first, and then I'm going to go back and do the writing. I might fast forward through the writing because I can't write and talk at the same time. So the next color is Birmingham Pen Co. Avocado. And this is diluted, but the amount of dilution is anyone's guess. Because I emptied the pen that I had inked up with the 50% dilution. I emptied that into this vial. And then and that had sat, so that had darkened back up. It looked almost like the original or arugula. Sorry, arugula. It looked almost like the original arugula, and I didn't want that dark of a color. So I added roughly a half a mil into this vial of the dilution solution to dilute it down more. And so this is what I'm ending up with. Then the next color I chose is another Birmingham pen company, the Antique Sepia. And I don't know, I may regret this because it may look a little too close to the diluted arugula, but we'll see. It is kind of a chromo shader, so I'm hoping because of that it will look different. Oh yeah. Now it won't dry this green. You'll see it a little later. But yeah, there'll be a nice difference, I hope. It could dry down to look very similar to the arugula, but we'll see. And the leaves in this month's sticker kit are much more of kind of a gray, greeny, and khaki sort of tone. So in addition to that, I decided to also bring in Dominant Industries Autumn Forest. And so this should be a little bit cooler, a little less saturated. Let's hope that I am getting some of the shimmer with my paintbrush here. Oh, I don't know if the video is picking it up, but it's so cool to watch the shimmer like swim around in the pools of the ink. So in my swatch book, this really just read as kind of a gray. So we'll see. I am starting to come over to the side of shimmers and kind of like having one shimmer ink or one high sheening ink as kind of a little contrast to the rest of the colors I use that month. So we'll see how that goes. And now shifting out of the blues and greens, I am picking up some of the pink in the flowers with another Birmingham chrysanthemum, or as I like to think of it, Chris Ann the mum. And it's not a huge jump, as you can see, because there is green there in the pooling. So these tie together really nicely. I'm kind of liking this, which is good since I'll be looking at it all month, right? Okay, then for the real pop, and this will be probably like headers and like extra special changes, extra special events, things out of the ordinary. We have the Diamine Red Dragon. And this is going to be shocking compared to the rest of them. It's not quite as blue and dark as the pomegranates in that sticker kit. So I may end up not using it in the planner, but may use it more just for journaling. Or I could also see myself deciding to go back and color mix it a little bit. We have enough diamine in our collection that I could tip the scales to be just a little darker, a little bluer. So we'll see. Okay, my paintbrush isn't rinsing that red off very well. There, that's better. And then the last one is another shimmer. And this was one of my favorites from 30 Inks 30 Days, and it's Tono and Lim's Kaleidoscope Ibuki. Now this is discontinued. I found one store in Canada where I could get the non-shimmer version. But I recently watched Karina's swatching of a Cozy Warmth charger set, and that might not be quite the right name. I'll put it up on the screen. A Cozy Warmth charger set from Ferris Wheel Press, and it had Majestic Maple in it, and I think that might be a pretty good substitute for this. Yeah, and looking at this, I am thinking I'm not super thrilled with the Red Dragon. I had considered keeping Oxblood in one of my pens from last month, but I decided against that because I just felt it was maybe a little too dark and not red enough, and maybe a little too warm. So we'll see. This one may change. Okay, so this first ink, as I said, is Dominant Industry. Soleil Couchant. Etre Tant. And Pilot Decimo. Fine. Then my new pen, it's first inking, and you can kind of see the ink in there. My Pelican M400. And we have Birmingham Pen Company, arugula diluted, but I don't know how much, in Pelican M400, and extra fine. Ooh, I like that. Can definitely visually see a good difference between those two colors. And then here you can see the chroma shading on the next one, and I'm hoping that having the flex will bring that out even more. So this is again Birmingham Pen Co. And it's antique. sepia, my palette, Falcon, also an extra fine. Okay, those are gonna look very, very similar, except for the element of flexing, and I didn't have enough room to like flex super well. Here we see that shimmer in the Autumn Forest has really pooled in my Navilar. So I'm gonna agitate it a little bit here. I haven't tried a shimmer in here, so this is a big experiment. And if you've been following along, you know that I have struggled with this pen a bit, so our history is not the best. So this is Dominant Industry. Autumn Forest. But I thought, since I find this fine to be a little too broad, that might be a good pick for something with shimmer. And it does appear to be showing the shimmer quite well, so that's exciting. Then my next pen that I chose is one of my Jinhao 86. If you're not familiar with these are a Chinese knockoff of the Parker 51s. And this is another Birmingham pen co that I didn't abbreviate for some reason. And this is Chrysanthemum in my Jinhao 86, and that is a fine. I forgot to write what pen has the Autumn Forest. So let me go back. And this is my Navilar, and it's a fine. It's the Classic Plus model, but I kind of ran out of room, and since it's my only narwhal, that's good enough. Then the oddball out here is in my Lamy Safari, and this is Diamine Red Dragon. In the Lamy Safari, and I swapped and put my medium nib in here because I anticipate that it will only be used as accents and not full writing. And then lastly, we have another Jinhao. This is the X750 with the Fude nib. And, oh, I probably need to agitate it. How do you guys remember to agitate your pens when you have the shimmer inks in there? Because that's just not something I typically think of. This is Tomo and Limbs. And my intention is to color in and have it as like a highlighter. I'm just Gonna put a buki here, and we'll say the Jin Hao X750. I do have a few other pens that I'm carrying over from last month for possibly journaling or whatnot. I'm keeping the Q1 with the maple in it. I'm keeping the Diamine Ancient Copper in my Schaefer, and the Birmingham Penco Burley Wood in this Jinhao 82. And then, as I do every month, I have one of my two gray Iroshizukus in my clear TWSBI. This is the warm colored one, so not, is it the Kirisame? I think that's what it is. The Fuyu Soigun is the bluer leaning, the cool gray. But I can't remember if the Kirisame is the almost black or if it's the warm gray. But this is the warm gray, whichever the right name is. And so this is kind of what we have going on here. Oh, that turned out a really good pick. And you see we have these bluey greens here. And then if you look at some of these stickers, what looked like black there is coming out as this deep teal black sort of. So that's why I picked the Soleil from Dominant Industries. But now I just need to fix this, I think. Although maybe I'll use it so little that it'll be just perfect. We'll have to see. So let's maybe put a couple of these stickers down. I don't want to use up too many. But there is one particular sheet that we get two of, this one. So perhaps, okay, I like these really long ones for the sidebars in the Common Planner. But maybe let's put this one down. Ooh, and you know what I'm noticing? I could decide to write a little something here before I place down the other one like this from the other sheet. That could be kind of cool. So I would love to hear what your colors are for November. Do you have any of these colors? What pens do you like to put them in? What color scheme are you going with this month? If you make a video, I'd love to see it. Yeah, let's see. I always struggle to get the backing off of these die cut ones that they include, but anybody have any tips besides keep working at the edge with your thumb pad. That's the only one I know of, and it just doesn't seem to usually work for me here. Oh, there we go. There we go. I was rolling it the wrong direction. I do have tweezers, but I have not gotten into the habit of using them. So there we go. There's a start. I may add in more washi and stuff as we go, or comments about the pairings of the inks with the pens. And until then, I hope you have a fabulous rest of the month and a fabulous November. Until I see you again, be safe and be well. Aho, and so it is. Bye.